Welcome in, everybody, for Trade-A-Palooza here on BALLCAP Sports. This is an excerpt from the BALLCAP Nightcap. Wanted to bring it back for anybody who may have missed last night's stream. This is Trade-A-Palooza. This is basically the names that are out there. Let's move them on. Let's stop waiting. Let's make the trades happen. We're talking Arenado, Lindor, Bryant, the Reds, Gray, and Suarez, and Castillo, Luke Voit. We're doing Hater. We're getting into all of these, and we're getting into them right now. We're going to start with the first one. It's Nolan Arenado. Let's make the trade happen. Let's send him to the Cardinals. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be able to pull this trade off. I think the Cardinals are the way to go. I think the Cardinals have the pieces. And I think the Rockies are going to, after all of these San Diego moves, look at themselves and say, we need to get what we can for Arenado. He might opt out with us next year, so let's get something else. Let's send Arenado to the Cardinals for Matthew Liberatore, the number 3 prospect in the Cardinals system and the number 52 overall, according to MLB.com. We're going to send Harrison Bader over to Colorado along with Justin Williams, the 17th prospect and outfielder in the system. The Cardinals may also, in this scenario, want to slide Matt Carpenter into the trade to send some money back to the Rockies. We'll see. But for the purpose of this, we're going to leave him out. But that is something that could be looming in a trade like this. A guy like Liberatore, that'd be the prize piece here for the Rockies. Give them a good pitcher, a lefty that they can bring up in a year or two and try to mold him into the ace of that rotation. Bader is expendable with O'Neill and Carlson and Thomas and Fowler in St. Louis, but he's still young enough to have some promise and could do some good things in Colorado. And Williams, the final piece of this, 25 years old, getting to the point where he's ready to come up. He's got a 50 out of 80 grade on his power, which is decent, and that could play well in Colorado. The next trade we're going to do, we're going to focus on Francisco Lindor and getting him to the Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to make this trade happen. We're going to send Randall Grichuk, Jordan Groshans, and Patrick Murphy back to the Indians. The Indians aren't going to get much more than that because Lindor is only guaranteed for 1 year. That's it, and then he could go somewhere else. Does Toronto want the city see the Kawhi Leonard thing happen all over again, where they go get somebody, bring him over, try to sell him on the situation in the city, only to see him leave for LA? I don't know if Toronto fans can stomach that again. If a championship comes with it, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with. But we're going to send Lindor to the Blue Jays. Grichuk is on a relatively favorable salary, about $9 million in 21, 22, and 23. So they got a couple years left of Grichuk at not a lot of money, something the Indians can stomach. And Grichuk is sort of coming along with the bat at this point in his career. He's probably got 30 home run potential in 2021 with the Indians in that ballpark. So Grichuk is a nice piece to pick up. Jordan Groshans is really the prized piece here. He's the number 3 prospect in the Jays system, a shortstop, 70th overall in all of baseball, but the Jays can give him up because he hasn't reached anything above A-ball, so he's still a couple years away. Not having the minor leagues last year delayed his arrival by a year, so you got to think the Blue Jays will be okay trading Jordan Groshans because, hey, you know what? The absolute best case scenario for Jordan Groshans, his sky, ceiling, moon potential would be Francisco Lindor. So just go get Francisco Lindor, move on from Jordan Groshans, and that's a nice piece for the Indians to pick up, try to mold him into the shortstop of the future, or at least until Jordan Groshans needs to get paid big money after arbitration. And Murphy, Patrick Murphy, the final piece here, right-handed pitcher, 18th prospect in the Blue Jays system. I think he goes to the Indians as well. He's 25 years old, was a 3rd rounder back in 2013, 45 out of 80 on the grade, just adding some depth to the trade, giving the Indians a lot. And if you give the Indians a pitcher, then you can expect some good things to happen. They can develop some pitching. Next trade is with the Reds and the Giants. We're going to send Sonny Gray and Eugenio Suarez to the Giants. Giants make a move to stay relevant, to continue to push to get into the playoffs with the wild card spot. They're going to send Tyler Beede, Marco Luciano, and Seth Corey to the Cincinnati Reds. Gray is only making about $10 million the next couple of years and has a $12 million option in 2023. Suarez again, only making about $10 million over the next few years. Both of them very favorable to the team type salaries for what they produce. So this is a great trade for the Giants. They don't have to go crazy on the salary, on their payroll, and they get a great pitcher, top line starter, and one of the most underrated third basemen in baseball in Eugenio Suarez. So you get Gray, you get Suarez, and now I understand you're sending Marco Luciano back. That's a big piece. The second prospect in the system, the 29th overall, and that's according to 2020. He'd probably maybe be a little bit higher when the 2021 rankings come out. And Seth Corey, a pitcher, he's the 5th best prospect in the system, 94th overall. So they're sending a couple of good prospects back, but instead of a big package with a bunch of guys where they raid that sort of, 5 to 15 range and then end up sending like 4, just let's send Luciano, let's send Corey, let's let the others develop, try to hold some of the depth that the system has. So we send Luciano and Corey. Luciano is only 19 years old. He is a 55 out of 80 on the grading scale. Corey is 22 years old, was drafted in 2017, getting to about the time where you'd like to see him make it to the majors. He's a 50 out of 80. And Tyler Beede, the other piece to this going to Cincinnati, you can plug him into the rotation right away. Can you get him on track? He has sort of disappointed. Didn't pitch in 2020. In 2019, he went 5-10 with a 5.08 ERA, but he is a former first rounder. He's got the pedigree, so you got to think that Tyler Beede could be something that the Reds might feel that they could turn around. There's still time for him. He'll be entering his age 28 season. Let's get to the Dodgers. Let's get the Dodgers' answer to all of these Padres moves, and it is the Kris Bryant from the Cubs deal. We're going to send Kris Bryant to the Dodgers for Jacob Amaya, the 10th overall prospect in the Dodgers system. He's a shortstop, second baseman, and Kendall Williams, the 23rd, a right-handed pitcher, 23rd prospect in the system, and a player to be named later. Now, a player to be named later in this purpose is just a guy that's outside of the top 25. You know, when you're looking at Baseball America, you're looking at MLB.com, they'll only rank to 25 or 30, but obviously there are more prospects than just that. So a player to be named later is maybe some filler. It's somebody that's outside of that 25 to 30 range that they can add in. I think the Cubs do get 3 players back, but the prize pieces will be Amaya and Williams, and then a project, really, somebody that maybe they can develop and grow. Bryant is entering his final year of arbitration. Spot Track projects around $18.5 million for that arbitration year. I think the Dodgers go get him, pay for that year, and lock him in for a few more years, because if he gets inserted into that Dodgers lineup and blows up like he probably could, he's not going to be at the top of the lineup. He's going to hit a little bit lower, probably have a chance to drive in some more runs, and you have a situation where Max Muncy's hitting in front of him and Bellinger's hitting behind him, or you could flip that. Kris Bryant's going to have an opportunity to do a lot of damage. Amaya heading to the Cubs, 22 years old, was an 11th rounder in 2017. They have developed him nicely. He's a 50 out of 80 on the grade scale. Williams is also 50 out of 80 graded by MLB. And again, we get that player to be named later. So I think that's probably the best that the Cubs could hope for, because again, Bryant, similar to Lindor, is only guaranteed for 1 year. Next trade, let's get Castillo dealt from the Reds. Let's get him into a situation where I just feel like this just makes too much sense, and that's to the Yankees, and that is for Clarke Schmidt. Clarke Schmidt is the 83rd prospect in baseball, 2nd in the Yankee system. Clarke Schmidt and a player to be named later. Again, player to be named later, outside of that 25 to 30. Deeper down in the system, somebody that the Reds could try to develop. I think Clarke Schmidt is a top prospect. If that player to be named later can have some value to the Reds, I think this trade makes sense. It makes sense for the Yankees. The Yankees need to add pitching. They need to add pitching depth. They get that, and Clarke Schmidt gives the Reds somebody to develop. And Clarke Schmidt isn't that far away. He came up, had a cup of coffee last year. He could probably be pitching with the Reds in 2021. Might start in the minors and then get the promotion. I think that would sort of make sense. Again, makes all the sense in the world for the Yankees to pull this trade off, get Castillo, and add to the rotation. They desperately need it. The next trade we're going to do, we're staying with the Yankees. This is not done on purpose. It just kind of happened this way. we're going to do Luke Voit. We're getting him dealt to the Rangers for Joey Gallo. This would be a big trade in my mind. Voit, 29 years old, so he's a little bit older, but he's got arbitration on his side. He's only entering his first year, and Spotrac is projecting that salary to be about $5.8 million. So Luke Voit, maybe he's a little bit older, but there's more control. Joey Gallo is a couple years younger. He'll be entering 27, his age 27 season, but his arbitration is almost done. So there's one more year of arbitration for Gallo, and then the money's going to have to get paid. So the Rangers get into a situation where they sort of start the clock on a bat as far as arbitration and control goes. They kind of restart that, and the Yankees get their left-handed bat that they're coveting. They basically get that version of Luke Voit, but with the lefty. And I could see Gallo easily popping 40 homers out of Yankee Stadium next year. Last trade of Trade-A-Palooza, it is Josh Hader going to the Yankees. Finally, let's get it done. It's been rumored for forever, so let's just do it. Josh Hader to the Yankees for Luis Gil and Miguel Andujar, who's sort of fallen out from Yankee love and everything. So we're going to send Miguel Andujar to Milwaukee, where he can go and pop his 30 homers. Just 25 Andujar is. You kind of forget. It almost feels like he's older than that because you didn't see him much in 2020. You didn't see him much in 2019. 2018 feels like forever ago. In that season, he hit 27 homers with 92 RBI, 297 batting average, 527 slugging. He doesn't walk a lot. That's kind of an issue. But if you're going to hit 297 and approach 30 homers, I think we can overlook that. He's getting the ball in play. He's hitting it out of the park. So I like Andujar to the Brewers, adds to that lineup. And Gil, he's a fireballer. He is a 50 out of 80 in the MLB grading, but his fastball is 75 out of 80. An electric fastball. So they're trading an electric fastball to the Yankees, and they're getting one back from the Yankees. Just Gil is 22, maybe a couple years away. He's only pitched in the lower levels, but he has pitched well there. So I would hope that they can continue to progress him. You get Hader to the Yankees, so you need the closer. You saw Devin Williams last year. He can step in to be the new Milwaukee closer as they bring Gil along, and then maybe in 2022, Gil can be the new Williams. But they get a piece back for the bullpen. Maybe Gil, they can even stretch him out to be a starter. But I think that's a good fair trade ultimately between the Yankees and the Brewers. Hader still has a couple years left of arbitration, but they're going to have to pay him. He's projected to get 5.6 in 2021. How much more money is Milwaukee going to want to start putting out? So, and with the arrival of Williams, is Hader maybe a little bit more expendable? That's to be seen. But in this world, in this scenario, yes, Hader is gone. He is going to the Yankees to add to that bullpen. So that is it for Trade-A-Palooza. I know there are some more names, but we're already over 10 minutes. I don't want this thing to go forever. Might come back to do a Trade-A-Palooza 2 because we got Musgrove, we got Wilson Contreras, we got other names that are popping up. So there may be a Trade-A-Palooza 2 depending on what you guys think if you want to keep something like that going. But thank you guys for checking this one out. I appreciate it. Make sure that you check out some of the other off-season content that we've been doing, some other trade videos, some other signing videos. Whenever anything big happens, we'll come on and talk about it. Every Tuesday night, we do the BALLCAP Nightcap live. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. Set your alerts so that you are there for BALLCAP Nightcap. And again, make sure you check out some of that content that we've been working on for the off season. Thank you guys for watching Trade-A-Palooza, at least one. We'll keep an eye out for Trade-A-Palooza 2. Thank you guys again for watching.